they're in the middle of the meeting. Oh, sorry, no, I don't know, sorry. Well, you just put it out, everything there, I put it in their office.
I'd like to call to order the Board of Selectmen meeting. First, we'll do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Now I'll do the citizens' comments.
Thank you, you're good.
Comment.
And my husband took it.
Okay,
Now I'll do the approval of minutes from 6/9 Board of Selectmen meeting. The minutes for 7/21, the public hearing that we had last week.
I read through both sets of minutes earlier today. I would motion to approve both 6/9 and 7/21 for the public hearing.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Additions to the agenda? Oh, yeah, I'd like to put an addition. I want to talk a little bit about the traffic going through town, how bad it's getting.
Okay, then, is there anything else?
That's what I want to talk about.
Okay, so I make a motion to add to the agenda discussion of traffic through town under local traffic authority. Want to do that and do it after the chip seal?
Sure.
Okay,
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
All right. Correspondence and announcements? Public Works report, they're doing their mowing and their seasonal stuff. So, doing a great job. And now, the local traffic authority. We have the guys from chip sealing and load preservation via Zoom. How's it going, guys?
Hold on, I'm gonna unmute them. Unmute and.
Okay. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you just tell us your name and your company and
Yeah,
a little
Peter.
bit about yourself?
Peter, are you on?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
My problem is the speaker's not too good. I can barely hear anything.
Guys, you're on live.
Okay. Bob Dexter, the Felix Marino Company. And, Peter Marino is also on, whose father started the business. Okay. Stand in. 1 minute. There. I'm having some problems with, maybe if I, wait a minute, see if I can get out there.
Crystal, can you try muting Peter? See if that helps for when.
no, I think somebody's got, who's on the phone?
They're muted.
That's,
But if he's hearing himself through the phone, that's what's going from the feedback.
there, okay, I've left the meeting on
That
the
works.
phone.
That's it.
Is that good now? Okay,
You got
Very
it.
good.
all right, good, and an open mic. Yeah, so, Peter, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you, Bob, but I can barely hear the selectmen because I told you, but I didn't tell them. I had to pull off the highway. There was an accident. And I couldn't get to the office, and I'm in a 99 right now. There's a lot of background noise here.
Okay,
So, if you could just speak up if there's a question or something like that.
We just
I
want
appreciate it.
to say your name and your company and basically what you guys do.
Okay, my name's Peter Marino. The name of the company is Felix Marino Company, and we do pavement restoration, preservation. We do decorative surfacing, and been around for over 70 years, working for municipalities, doing mostly restoration for the first 50 years. So, we've done work in the past with Wallentown, and I don't know. Are there questions? Second, again, I can barely hear.
I got some questions and these guys might have some questions for you. Can you explain why we do the better roads than the roads that are worse off. Why we
Absolutely.
do that?
Pavement management, classic pavement management calls for taking your good roads and keeping them good. If you want, you treat your roads as a full network system. In other words, treat every road as if it's all in your inventory. In order to upgrade your whole network system, if you do your worst first, all your good ones start getting bad. For every one you pay to do conventional paving on, you got 10 others that are dropping into from a good to a poor condition. So classic pavement management has really come on the scene in the last 30 years, and a lot of towns will hire consultants come in and inventory the roads and give recommendations, what have you. I don't know if Voluntown, they have a pavement management system in place.
We have a system in place. We had,
Beta.
Beta, what was that, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? And pretty much Public Works follows that plan with you guys that we had like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if you can hear me, but yes, we do.
Barely.
We had Beta come in 3 or 4 years ago, and we've been following that plan ever since.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And Beta's known for, is one of a handful of companies that do come in and offer pavement management system. If you talk to any of them, they all have the same management plan, which kind of flies in the face of conventional thought, which is to do the best roads first. From a political standpoint, it's a tough sell, because why would you do a road that's in good shape when down the street there might be a road that's in poor condition? But if you add costs and value, over the long haul, you save millions of dollars by taking a proper management approach, taking your best and maintaining them. Every homeowner will take time and care to preserve their own driveway by sealing it, filling the cracks, and protecting it so they don't have to pave it every 8 to 10 years. So towns, unfortunately, we're up against, for 50 years in my book, political paving. You're paving to satisfy, political needs, and that's no way to run a whole roadway system. You got to look at the roadway system as a whole. Okay, so if you want to improve that network condition of the road system, you employ a good management system. And a good management system, believe it or not, is to start earlier on in the pavement life cycle, and keeping it in excellent condition if you can. Some of these roads I've seen in Voluntown, and Bob was telling me, I saw them originally, and they're in terrible shape. And then what we do is we do almost like a preparation to like an overlay, like a chip seal or what have you. But you put the numbers together between what we do to prepare the road by rejuvenating the existing aged pavement into a newer condition, and then going over it so it looks uniform with the chip seal. The chip seal also is an excellent maintenance, preservation, restoration process. The combined two, you do the numbers, isn't even close to what it costs to pave a road. Okay. Now, is it perfect? It's not perfect, but it's taking the whole network as a whole, not looking at individual streets and trying to accommodate individual people. You're looking at the whole town and doing what's best collectively as a town, financially. So that's classic pavement management, has been for the 50 years I've been in business. The problem has always been is trying to sell that idea, because most people, oh, why are you doing that road? Why aren't you doing mine? And that type of stuff. So I think having a third-party consultant also helps, because it will take the politics out of it. It'll tell you pretty much which roads to do at any given time. I don't know if Beta does that. I'm not familiar exactly with the way they do it. I do know that Beta's pavement management program can be run and manipulated by the town themselves. A lot of other firms have proprietary systems that only they can manipulate or adjust along the way, and they command higher prices too to run the pavement management program. But that's what little I know, or lot I know about it, and I'm just not completely familiar with Voluntown and every road we've done because I can't you know be involved with every single location, So but Bob, that's why Bob's the local rep for us. So okay.
So you guys.
Anything else?
Yeah, the temperature wise outside, what's the best time of year? What, like, is it July, August? Is it June, July? Is it January, February? What's the best time of year to do this and temperature? Where it works the best? If you guys.
That's a great question. Great question. It's been asked many times through the years to make. When it comes to cracks, cracks are their smallest when it's really warm because the pavement tends to spread out, so to speak, because it's pliable and flexible. And they become the widest in the coldest temperatures. So I know there's been a lot of thought there that maybe moderate temperatures, spring and fall, perhaps. However, you know, owning a company, we can't do everything in the spring and fall when you have beautiful weather in the summer months. So, it's what people will tolerate. And in some cases with our products, if we do them late in the season and you get a early winter and a lot of our emulsions don't have time to fully cure, they can. I know New England has, especially lately, there is no spring anymore, if you notice, in New England. It goes from winter to summer real fast. And when that happens, a lot of these materials can come alive immediately. And I think that was a condition possibly in Voluntown this year. Am I correct? Was there a few problems? Can somebody answer me that?
Last year we had an issue in timing. So towards the end.
I'm sorry, what's that again?
So we had an issue with timing last year towards the end.
With what at the end?
Timing with what was going on with the roads.
Yeah,
Because of the weather. It got
Yeah,
really
gotcha,
cold quick.
okay.
It got really cold quick last year. So,
Yeah. Okay, and it happens. It's not often it happens. It does happen. Road work can be a little messy sometimes. Nobody's perfect. I can't predict when it's going to happen. When you get a little what we call bleeding, a little bit of bleeding of the asphalt. If it gets on your tire, it comes off very easily. In fact, anything that we put on the roadway that gets on a tire, if you drive it 10 more miles, it'll be gone. Okay. So, but a lot of the times, unfortunately, people come home and they get it on their tire and it's still on their tire because they're within a half a mile of their home. But for the most part, it will come off. It's not like a hard rubber material that can get stuck and put the wheel out of balance. It comes right off. If there's a what looks like a bleeding condition, a little bit of stone dust or sand covering it usually takes care of it. A lot of the times when we put down our curb to curb liquid applications, people hear the swishing sound of the tires going through it. That happens on new pavements too. They're under the assumption that something's getting on the tires when it's not. It just sounds like it is, if you know what I mean. And we have applications that we get that all the time. Oh, it's people getting on their tires, and I go, no, they're not. They're just not. They're not getting on the tires. There's an appearance due to the sound, the squishing sound as you drive through it, like it's a wet street. It doesn't get on your tires for the most part. Occasionally it happens, and if it has in the past, I apologize, and we'll just avoid it going forward. That's all we can do,
if it's freshly done and you guys got it coned off, you shouldn't drive on.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, if it was just done an hour ago or a half hour ago, and you guys have it coned off, you shouldn't drive on it, or it's okay.
Yeah, when we open the roadway, it should be open to traffic. It should be fine. Okay, so believe it or not, most of our road applications work better with when traffic does hit it. We wouldn't do a parking lot. We wouldn't do it where there's foot traffic. Vehicular traffic should be fine. And usually there's not much of a long delay at all when we use our systems. There's very few user delays other than changing a lane and passing through on the opposite side for a short time or something like that, you know? It's getting loud here, so.
You got Devin.
I do. So what with, my question would be if you have a road that is deteriorating, so maybe you're mid-level to your bad, that has areas that are collapsing, at what point do those take precedent over the road that's in great shape?
I am so sorry. I'm having trouble with this. You were having roadbed a problem or something? I heard,
So
It got-
if we have a road that's rated, like we had, I think the Beta did red, green, yellow.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you have a yellow or a red road that has an area that is collapsing on the sides or getting ready to collapse across the middle, at what point do those take precedent over maintaining a road that was maintained within the past year or two? That doesn't seem to me that that would be cost effective to let that happen.
it's a great question. It's every situation requires, more input on choosing which road to do at a certain time. I mean, obviously, when I put on presentations on road management, what have you, unfortunately, the road managers care more about durability of the road, and the residents and the taxpayers care about rideability. Okay, so if you have a situation where a car's coming at a 35-mile-an-hour clip and hits a pothole or something like that, it's obviously you almost have to respond to that. I would say try your best to put the rideability back in a localized sense, but overall still try to maintain the network so they're all durable. So again, I think that's a road manager's call. I can't do it from 100 miles away, but I also can give recommendations. Were you referring to a road we looked at last week? Was that part of the question?
Last week.
I know you guys.
What was that, Church Street?
A lot. Church Street, yeah, Church Street, that's the road that's got that little divot, that's rising. It's got you told me about it
Yeah,
last. Can you hear me?
yeah, barely. I can barely hear. Yeah, go ahead.
The road, Church Street, is the one that you said was rising? And you guys were gonna
Yes.
try and look and see what was going on underneath that?
Yeah, we're offering to go and take a core sample, which is like a drill hole, little round drill hole, and see what's underneath that pavement for a base material. Okay, we'll do that at our cost to give you advice on what to do. It may not include us at all, but we have that ability and would like to do that for you as a customer, because there are roadways where you don't know from the surface. It's really hard to tell. My gut feeling was it might have been a utility trench or something running down the right side of the road, but since that's not the case, the base may be failing and it's pushing up along the curb line, and in the wheel path it's sinking badly. It could be clay or something else underneath there that can't support the road structure of the vehicle. So,
So
but we're
just
willing to do that. And I said that to Bob. Bob, I think, mentioned it.
So just,
Yeah,
you guys are crack sealing only, right? You guys don't redo roads, you just go and repair roads, right? That's what your company does.
that's
So I
correct,
say,
Brian.
yeah, okay, good.
Peter, if you don't mind, a good example, I think of what the council's trying to get to is Brown Street, for instance. That road was in pretty rough shape, as you know. In fact, all along the edges, it didn't have a lot of structure underneath. So we were able to go in with our hot boxes and hot mix in order to stiffen that up. Now, we also did, that was cracked up pretty horrible, very similar to, in some spots, Shetucket Turnpike. And what we use is our crack filler. It's a cold pour crack filler. That crack filler, what that does, first of all, we use the MRT. That's the Maltine replacement technology. What we're doing when asphalt ages, what happens is it becomes oxidized through heat and the ultraviolet ray. What that does is dissipates that maltine fraction that's in the asphalt. So what we do is we put that group of chemicals and oils back into the asphalt to bring it back to what it should be, so it becomes flexible again. Then we go in with the crack filler. Now, when we're putting the MRT down, what's good is those vertical cracks, the walls of the cracks, the MRT is in there. And then when we put that crack filler in, we're making like a mini macadam. So first of all, we put the cold pour material in. What it is, it's the reclamite with asphalt, liquid asphalt combined. So by doing that and then putting the aggregate, the sand that I know bothers a lot of people, but what we're doing is we're making a mini macadam, filling that crack, not just sealing it over the top. That's a crack filler. So when you get that freeze thaw, what's happening is you get a chemical bond inside that crack. Now, if you have real big cracks that occur like this last winter we had, that all has to do with reflective cracking from down underneath. That's the base. And a lot of the bases around here, I don't know if people are familiar with how the whole road systems originally initiated. Most of them were deer trails. From there, then you had the settlers come in and the indigenous people, and then it just got broader and broader. And a lot of those roads were constructed out of what was there. If they had a bank of gravel, they dig out some gravel and put it into a spot to level it out. But those roads, the bases aren't of the best material. They weren't engineered. So as a result, you've got nice new pavement or whatever you're putting over the top on top of a base that's insufficient. So what's the best thing to do? Well, you can do a full depth reclamation, meaning they come in, they grind the material up, they test the base, you put another 8 inches of gravel, whatever it may require. You could go from $19 a square yard to $50 a square yard in no time. The process we're doing is we're saving what you already paid for, what you have over the top of that, and we'll get probably 6-8 years out of it with a chip seal over the top. Then we can come back, crack fill, and spray that chip seal with the MRT again, and you'll get another 6 years down the road. So we're stretching that out, and probably between the chip seal and what we do, probably looking at around $7 a square yard. And that way you can do a heck of a lot more mileage at that process at say $7-8 a square yard compared to doing the full depth. Unfortunately, the stuff that's out there that needs the full depth, they waited too long to do something with. So what we're doing is we're getting in and Beta, the engineers and all that understand what we're doing. And if you look at the numbers that we have charged up against what some of the numbers are from your report, you're going to find that you've got a whole lot less cost with a very high value.
Okay. You guys got any more questions?
Nope.
All right, guys, you got anything else? Or are you guys all set?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You have anything else? Are you guys all set?
Unless there's any questions, any more questions from the audience or your chair.
I think we're done with the
Okay.
questions. And we can always give you a call if a resident comes in, asks another question or, you
Sure.
know, so.
Well,
we can
we're always
keep in
available.
contact.
Yep, we're always available to you. And I gotta say, we do a lot of cities and towns, and your guys are one of the top groups of guys. When we go in to do process, whatever it may be, they have everything ready for us. They have signage, they have everything. They're safety minded. And also they're concerned about giving the right information to your residents. So I just wanted to let you know that.
All right, they do a great job, and
Yep.
they say you guys do a great job too, so.
Okay, well, that's good. And we want to continue that. And any problems that may arise, we're, again, we're a phone call away and ready to work on it.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Thank you, Brian.
guys for coming
Chris,
back.
You all
Thank
have a
you,
good
everybody.
week.
So you
Take
guys
care.
take care.
Thanks.
Okay,
Nice
and
seeing
you as well.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Right.
So Sue, your question. I want to discuss this here a little bit more.
Yep.
So these guys are who we contract with to come in and do the repairs,
Mhm.
but we're telling them what to do. It's
Right.
Beta. I think we need to have Beta come back in and have Beta give a presentation.
I think so too. I think that's really where it goes.
Exactly, because what I remember from Beta is there were multiple steps.
Right.
There was basically have them come in and they do combination of scans. There's LiDAR, there's other things that they do, and they physically drove all 37.2 miles of town road.
Yeah.
And then that's where they generated their report. And that was basically a one and done. What we may need to look at, and this may make it easier for conversations with constituents, is there are subscription models that they have as well, where they actually do the road management. So they're making the decision on, hey, here's all the data. We're gonna do these 10 roads chip seal. Okay, like they were saying,
Yeah.
keep your good, so it doesn't deteriorate at very economical rates. But they'll also give us the plan for, here's what it's gonna cost to do these 3 roads, and these what we recommend you do these 3 roads this year.
Yeah.
Much more expensive, costly repairs, but then we can have a holistic plan of every road in town and say, look, these are the ones we're doing this year, next year, and year 3. And we may have to look at adding Beta as their subscription service.
Yeah.
Where they actually do that management rather than the 3 of us plus Public Works trying to do that. And to be blunt, I think it's just beyond our skill set to do that level of management of which road we do and when.
Right.
So.
Cause I don't know, you probably hear it just like I do. Somebody's always asking, why was this road done and why was that road done when this one is worse? And oh, so-and-so lives down this road. That's why that one got done.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And, and I read that thing a while back that had the red, green, yellow on it. And it seemed to me, even at that point, and this has been the first opportunity to actually bring it up, is that they're waiting until the mid-grade roads are in the red.
So they're
And
in
then they
crapper.
completely ignore them.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be what is happening with the reds right now, is that they're not even looked at. And
Joe McGuire earlier this year. That came in to meet with us from Taiwan. So the individuals we work with at Beta Group
Yeah.
have left Beta Group. And
Okay.
now are with Tying Bond and Joe McGuire. And he came in earlier this fiscal year, or last fiscal year, right after Brian was elected, to talk about essentially what you're talking about, renewing this study, adjusting.
And then having a subscription where they actually do the road management.
So that part we didn't talk about. He said that to redo the study, sort of update, would be about $17,000. But then we just keep doing that every 3 years.
So my question with that is we can pay the $17,000, bring them in, but can we do these roads? Can we fix these roads? Can we redo these roads? Do we have enough money to do it? So that's my question with paying the $17,000. That's one of the reasons why we didn't do it this year was I was thinking that. And that's a lot of money for somebody just to say, hey, Kenny Road
Well,
sucks.
if these guys can go and do a test hole, I drive down Church Street back and forth to the office all the time. I never noticed a hump in the road.
I didn't notice it until he told me.
Right, so
Yeah.
we send them out to roads that need some attention and have them do a test hole on it? Or whatever they
So-
call?
So we're gonna back it to what Brian said first. What you're saying is, so there's a difference between having them come in and just do an assessment of the roads versus having them come in and doing the continuous monitoring and provide the plan, which we then feed into the capital improvement project
Mhm.
and say, so we start forecasting what roads we're gonna do
Mhm.
2 to 5 years out. And so it's easier to budget that way. And
And being reactive to it. That's
Exactly.
what I feel like with looking at the red ones is that we're gonna be,
then it's gonna be which constituents are screaming the loudest about the red ones.
right. And
But if we have a
it's gonna
plan ahead of
cost us if it
time,
fails.
I think this is an investment we're gonna have to make in order to, whether it's with Vader or with where the company with people wound up, but as they were describing, pavement management. Who's the pavement management manager?
Right,
And right now, we don't have one. It's us right now.
Right.
And I don't think we've got the expertise to be pavement management managers.
No, I
no,
don't,
the only thing I
I
do
don't.
when I drive down a road,
Right.
right?
I don't, but I also know that them telling us what we already know and paying that, I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that the capital improvement plan, we can do that, but I mean, we'll probably all be gone by the time we can do what we need to do. You know what I mean?
Well, so one of the, so the capital improvement plan is kind of by design, it's supposed to survive past this board.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
the next board that comes in,
Right,
whether or not any of us are on that board, that's what we've already agreed to as this is the policy that we are following for the town. And so the next board come in would have to do something drastic to not follow it.
Mhm.
So it's kind of where we start setting things up to be proactive rather than reactive. And have that multi-year view of the roads
Mhm.
rather than this year and next year.
Right.
Because that's where it really starts to get expensive and where things, pun intended, fall through the cracks.
Right.
Right, and I
And-
think too that if people ask where do they stand in the lineup, we can give them an answer.
Exactly.
You guys are, this is what we know about the road, the condition, this is the longevity of it, and this is when.
It's scheduled to be done in
scheduled to
3
be.
years, and here's
Right.
the reason why it's scheduled to be done in
Exactly.
3 years rather than today because you're here yelling at Brian. So I think it bears more investigation to get not just the price for doing another scan of the roads, another assessment, but set them up to be the road managers.
Because I feel like the information we have isn't that old, that we could still use that as part of a viable plan, but to have. But
And that's why this year, I talked to Joe McGuire like 3 times. And I was like,
And he was pushing hard, he was giving you the
He
hard
was
sell,
pushing
right?
hard, but like Sue just said, we just did this.
Yeah.
We didn't do it long ago.
It's still useful
So
information,
it's
it's
still
not
useful.
obsolete.
I asked Public Works says it's still useful. They agree like somewhere down the road, closer to now than later, that we should probably do it again, but I'm thinking that it was really close to what.
Well, so rather than just doing the survey again, we can get Joe back in here to have a conversation around not doing a survey, but taking the survey we already have and coming up with the plan. Because I think that's where that's value add that we can get out of what we've already got.
Mhm.
So it's not wasted money.
So that's for next year. That's for next budget, right? That's not this budget, right?
Well, I don't know that it would cost us anything to talk to the guy,
He doesn't work for Beta.
that's fine,
Yeah.
That's okay, we can
That's
still
all
have
right,
him
we still
use
have
the,
the information. He should be able to look at the information that he worked on.
I'll contact them, we'll see,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's a conversation at this point right now, I would say, without having to
So
spend
I'm
anything
not
on
working
it.
for Vader anymore, and if he takes that, what they did, that's okay,
That's.
That's ours.
We
We
own
own
the
it.
report.
okay.
We
all right,
paid for it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll call him. And maybe we can get him here and he'll,
and again, start the conversation.
mhm,
It's this, again, we're not looking to have him come in and say, hey, we're gonna give you 30K. Okay, whatever, for the next 2 years. It's to have the conversation, figure out what we're gonna do. But again, this is then going down that path of being proactive rather than reactive and
Right.
start planning stuff out,
mhm,
in the timeline that the capital improvement project, because that's a 5 to 10 year plan
mhm.
for stuff that we want to do. So everything less than 5 years is the short term part of the capital improvement plan, but we have stuff in the capital improvement plan that's 10 years out. And if we can get a plan for the roads and put all the roads on that, and then we set the example with this board of either this board or the next board, I'm already thinking, where are we at on the cycle? It's get us or the next board to, just start following the capital improvement plan and keep adding to it as appropriate.
All right. Financial report, Crystal,
Yeah, I just have a couple of brief things. One, I just wanted to remind everybody the monthly reports are on the website. There's 2 ways to get to them. You can go to the departments link and, down by the finance department, you'll see the monthly reports are linked there. You can also hover over the I want to link and it will give you a quick link to the monthly reports there. So in those monthly reports, the end of every month, you'll see the report that goes to the Board of Selectmen's meetings. But I'll also be adding the audit when it's completed and previous year's audit so that people can look at the audit. And also previous year budgets, so that when we get back around to budget season, people, one of the requests that was made at the town meeting when we voted on the budget was that previous year budgets would be available. So I'm gonna be putting those up. We're closing out fiscal year 26. You have the report there. It's actually, we did have a couple of, sort of last minute invoices that belonged in fiscal year 26. So we spent down to, about within $1,200 of our expense budget, which is good. That's what we were aiming for. The unaudited amount, so we haven't completed the audit this year, so it's really at this point an estimate. Is that we're returning about 280,000 to the undesignated. But again, those exact numbers will be ready after the audit is complete. And the last thing I have is, a lot of people have probably noticed the Forge Hill Bridge project is ongoing right now. Things are really getting moving. That's a big project. It's 80-20 funded by the federal and state grants, but it's still a big project that we have to pay out and then get reimbursed. So one of our concerns when I first turned over with Julie is we really wanted to watch closely how quickly those reimbursements were gonna happen. So we get monthly invoices from the vendors. I pay those invoices and submit them to a very intuitive system called Dime. And we get those reimbursements generally between 10 and 12 days.
Oh, nice.
So.
Yeah,
Super
this was
quick. Wow.
this was a major concern that we were gonna have
Yep.
serious.
Like 30,
Interest.
60, 90 days on it.
Yeah, we were gonna be carrying all this and paying the interest on it was a major
Yeah.
concern.
Less than
So-
2 weeks across.
That's
the board.
awesome.
So coming right back in. So,
Yeah.
so that's going great. And of course, Brian and I and Crystal have been meeting bi-weekly with them to make sure that everything's going smoothly and seems to be.
everything looks good. And if you don't have a computer, if you're not, you can come down to town hall and we'll give one to you, so you can always come get one. So, thank you, Crystal. You get a little bit.
Did we just lose? I would need the other guys to hang out.
We,
My tax refund.
okay, tax refund.
Just
Have a tax refund for Robert Angle Jr. is $11.45. Tax refund for Toyota lease truck, which is $197.30. Tax refund for Donna Stoll, which is $44.88. And tax refund for Sean Dooley, which is $40.52.
I make a motion to approve the tax refunds as recommended by the tax collector.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right,
Schedule the town meeting.
schedule the town meeting. On, it's about Old Econ Way.
I would motion to schedule that meeting for, to discuss, what was it, what they call it, the little eyebrow thing. Is it an easement?
Easement.
Yeah, it's an easement
Mhm.
and our discontinuing.
Discontinuing the
Of it.
easement at Old Econ Way on September 22nd, 2026.
I second the motion.
That'll be at 6 o'clock.
So we normally, you want to do it 6 or? Yeah.
It's fine.
It's a regular meeting night.
Yeah, so let's go at 6.
I'm gonna ask you to amend your motion to have because that's a regular Board of Selectmen meeting night.
Okay.
To have the Board of Selectmen meeting immediately after the town meeting.
Oh, perfect idea.
Perfect.
And commended.
Perfect.
Okay, seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. So that way, if there's any business that
We can
we've
get
got,
done.
yeah, exactly. And if there's any business we have to take care of from the town meeting, we can do it immediately afterwards. So that'll be 2 separate scheduled meetings.
Yeah.
The town meeting and then the Board of Selectmen meeting.
Okay, other business, is that what, said in the beginning, about the traffic?
You already.
Oh,
How-
we skipped over it.
That's okay, I can bring it up. That's fine. We're working on the traffic out there. We had 2 accidents yesterday.
Yeah,
People are still flying through town, motorcycles, trucks, cars.
cross passing, yes.
I did have a conversation with Brian and Heather in the last 2 days. And the state police have gotten a hold of me. I talked to a couple of people in Hartford, so we're trying to help this out. So it's getting real dangerous around here, around town. So, and we really don't wanna go the taking license plate pictures and all that, so we're trying to do something else that we can do besides that. Other business? No. Suggestion for next meeting? So the next meeting. It's early voting is here, so we cannot.
11th, so we're not having a meeting, the next scheduled one, right?
Okay, so if there's anything that comes up that's, then we can figure something out, but the next meeting will probably be the end of August.
Yeah.
So
The 25th,
25th.
that may be like 2 days I'm actually here. So excellent.
No suggestions for the next one? Anybody wants to talk about anything? Maybe have Joe McGuire here, possibly. I'll talk to him.
We can make it.
Should tie in bond now,
Is that,
company, tie bonds.
that's not where John's from, is it?
No, that's Pikey.
Oh, okay. I'm with the same name. So, okay. And one last thing.
Motion